I'm here with Ryan, and we're going to talk about Ask the Expert videos.
Awesome. I love this opportunity to really just discuss in general the easiest way, in my opinion, for publishers to make money online. And it's so simple and it's so straightforward, and it doesn't require a lot of time, effort, and energy. So there's really 3 points that I'd love publishers to consider. Okay. Number 1 is understanding you need good experts.
Right.
So if you're going to ask questions, you need to get good answers if you want to get some good viewership. The second is, how do we solicit, the best questions? And then third is keeping this simple. All too often publishers just overcomplicate things. So the first example I'd love to show you is what Bodybuildingcom did with their expert panel of doctors. While I'm not exactly aware of how they solicited the questions, I was able to watch the format, and it was really neat. They had reader and user questions that were submitted, and then the doctors would answer these. And what you can see is a pretty simple set. And you can tell, this is on YouTube. Mm-hmm. They had 44,000 views of this video. So wow. Clearly, this is something that people really like a lot. And then the other example I was going to show you is from Mr. Porter. A lot of people are familiar with that magazine and website. In this particular circumstance, they were asking questions related to style, and then their experts were answering those questions. And it's really, straightforward. It's really simple. So there's really kind of 2 ways to make money with this. Okay. The first is you can ask the expert to pay. So what do I mean by that? It's going to a company and they supply an expert and they pay for the privilege of answering your reader questions on your website or online. That's the first way. Or the second is that your editorial team might come up with questions or ask questions from the readers. Okay. You create 6 or 8 videos with those answers, and then a sponsor would sponsor that channel. So one of how it might look, especially if you're using YouTube, is at the beginning it might say, these Ask the Experts questions are brought to you by so-and-so. And then the question is asked. We've got a question from so-and-so, the expert answers it, and then at the end it might say, this Ask the Expert question an answer was brought to you by so-and-so. So I think it's 2 really straightforward and simple ways to make money with Ask the Expert videos.
All right, sure it is. Well, you mentioned something about soliciting the questions, right? Mm-hmm. How would a publisher do that?
Well, there's several ways, but I think we want to create sort of a life cycle, if you will. Okay. So I would consider using Twitter or using Facebook to be able to ask and solicit those questions for your experts. And you'll get quite a bit of activity because most readers really like to be able to utilize expert answers. And then you want to use Facebook probably for consumer magazines, Twitter for B2B magazines. Okay. But then a really neat part of it is after the video is produced, then you're going to use your social media channels to be able to promote the fact that these answers are available. So the really cool part about it all is there's a bit of a life cycle. And what I mean by that is advertisers are potentially paying for the videos, but then they're also paying for the promotion of those videos. And so it just is a really neat way to make money.
That sounds like a good channel. And then, of course, coming back to just the videos, having them come back to the website of the publisher. And so that kind of completes the circle.
Indeed, that's a good point. So a lot of times publishers will actually take the video itself and post it on Facebook. Instead, what I really advise them to do, even though that can work, is that you actually use an image that looks like a player. So on Facebook, it'll look like a player in a square box. When a user clicks on it, it will actually go back to your website to potentially drive a page view for your website. So anyway, the 3 big things that I'd love for publishers to consider is you need to find good experts. So there's a couple ways to do that. Solicit questions using your Facebook pages or your Twitter feeds, your social media, and then record the answers in a simple format. And we've talked about it a little bit, offline. A lot of publishers really overcomplicate this and try to make it a Steven Spielberg production. It doesn't have to be. Use a good camera, make sure the audio is good. I think people are going to absolutely love this idea.
Gotcha. Well, thank you, Ryan. Thank you, everyone, and we'll see you next time.